Welcome back to The Big Picture. I'm having a great discussion with Daniel Roebuck, who is coming to town to screen his movie, Getting Grace. It's coming to town on March 30th. It's going to be at St. Francis High School. And this is a great opportunity to talk to Daniel and to view a great movie. Daniel, let's get back into the discussion. Now, you play on Matlock, and we air that here on the station every morning at 10 o'clock, so that our viewers are familiar with you. What was it like to work with Andy Griffith?
Well, it was kind of like going to heaven, only I didn't have to die to get there. So I like everybody, I grew up watching the Andy Griffith Show, and like everybody, I thought, oh, if only that guy was my dad. I would be like Opie. So when I went to do the first Matlock, if your watchers, your viewers can see me as a couple different roles on Matlock over the course of time. But I went in to play a doctor in my first episode, and in the very first episode, Andy and I had a very interesting exchange, because I had just done Will Stockdale in the play No Time for Sergeants, which is a play that made him famous, essentially. What it was football put him on the map, but No Time for Sergeants made him, part of our culture. So he was so interested that I had played the same part he did. And in the scene, when we rehearsed it, he says, I have a pain down here, or whatever. And, you mark the rehearsal, you don't really do it. And then when we were shooting, Phil, he said, I have a pain, but he pointed to a different place. So I pulled his pants and I shoved my hand down the guy's pants to where he pointed. And, he did a little thing. So the next day, the director, Tony Mordante, comes up to me and goes, I don't know what you did yesterday, but the old man wants you to be a regular on the show. So it was in that one exchange where, what it really was, I know what it was as I got to know Andy, and I wouldn't have known this in the first place. He just liked the fact that I was really acting with him. I went with what he wanted me to go with, which I guess proved to him in a moment of crystal clarity that I was a guy who, could go with the flow. So I ended up on Matlock. Finally, they tried another character, and then the network said no. And then the series went from NBC to ABC. And when Andy got his, more clout, he had them hire Bryn Thayer and myself. So if you can imagine going to work every day with him and having Andy Griffith say, Danny, make this funny. Let's make it funny. He'd want me to help. And then I'd go home and I'd watch the Andy Griffith Show. And my wife at the time, Kelly, would say, what are you, nutty? You just spent 12 hours with that guy. And I'd say, I can't get enough. And I'm sure do you guys play the Andy Griffith Show as well?
Yes, we do, actually. We do. Yeah, we have both.
I'm sure the same viewers watch both shows every day.
Yep. And they love it. They love it. I mean,
they love it.
Those are the days, actually, I get comments, that was good storytelling. And as opposed to today, which sometimes they take shortcuts when it comes to the talent. The jokes aren't as funny, and the drama isn't as well scripted. The older TV shows tend to have better storytelling, and people pay more attention, and we get good results. People really like that stuff.
From the old stuff.
Yeah.
Look, one of my favorite shows, I don't think it's airing on MeTV now, but maybe it'll come back. Our family, we revere The Odd Couple. I think Tony Randall is perhaps the greatest actor who ever lived. And I'll tell you that my children, when they hang out with me, they're 23 and 21. If I say, you want to watch a couple? Yeah, they'll sit right down and we watch them, because there's, the jokes were better. Look, we're in a weird time now where we're starting to get people saying, well, you're not allowed to make a joke about that. You're not allowed to make a joke about that. I mean, heck, think of all the stuff we were making jokes on in Matlock, his age or my inability to score or whatever,
Yeah.
Like now someone would say, well, that's offensive to the old population.
Well, the world has changed in a lot of ways, and one of the ways it's changed is in the movie industry. In this age of blockbusters and CG effects and so on, the movie that you made, and obviously part of it's because of budget, but part of it I'm sure, is because there's a value to the movie and a message and a certain story that needed to be told. With all of the blockbusters and CG out there and the tendency to go big, does that make it harder to get a picture like this through, or does that open up a niche that makes it more acceptable?
I wish. You know what made it hard, honestly, Phil? The hardest part when we came out right after Black Panther, and the big movie theaters kept pulling our movie to show Black Panther in another screen. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because this was our shot to tell this story, and Black Panther, you know, was just, they were minting money with it. So any superhero would happen to be Black Panther, but any superhero movie at that time would have done that, it appears. But, you know, Black Panther was a good movie, of course. So it is difficult. Okay, so I want to tell you that. Like, the people who watch your network are going to understand this. If we want to create content that speaks to you, your head and your heart, we're going to have to do it independently. It's the only way it's going to be done, because Black Panther, their responsibility is to entertain you in a different way. It's still entertainment. I don't begrudge anybody their ability to create art. But if you want to watch the kind of stuff we're doing, I'd say support it. You know, the next thing I'm doing, just tangentially to this, we're creating actually a foundation, a channel of peace. A channel of peace is going to be an organization in which the mission of the organization is to make movies like this, and then to give the profit back to the community or make more movies like it. Getting Grace was such a success in that it's been seen by millions of people. And beyond that, though, we keep giving money away through it, just like we're doing through Lakeside and the Courage for Carly Fund. We're coming up with more ways to give back through entertainment. So you get to watch the movie, laugh at the movie, love the movie, hopefully, and then you get to donate to a charity at the same time. It's a win-win-win-win.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you know, you don't see the opportunities come that often in today's world, and this is a good opportunity to do things that have value and that give and that you know, basically are counter to a lot of the things that are going on in the world. It's a good thing, and actually we should give a shout out to Lakeside Memorial and Charles Castiglia, who is bringing you and the movie here, and it's going to benefit Roswell Park. This is a good thing that's happening, and you know, this kind of movie, the value and the feeling that you get from watching something like this. There have been movies coming out, you know, Christian-based movies and high-value movies that have kind of been successful in the past number of years. And it seems like Hollywood doesn't really go for that normally, but every time something does get produced, it's usually pretty successful. That's kind of counter.
Yeah. If they put their money into it, see, it's not just, you know, more people would have seen Getting Grace if we could have had the money to promote it. So you have a great movie like, you know, it's leaving my mind. It was another movie that was out at the same time about the songwriter and his relationship with his father. That came out at the same time, but that was, you know, they put Hollywood money behind promoting it. So, you know, it's a two-pronged objective. You got to make the story and you got to promote the story. And I think that I'm grateful for Charles at Lakeside Memorial for having the wherewithal and the forward thinkingness to understand why bringing this movie to his community is a good thing. As I understand it, Lakeside is a very, you know, kind of modern funeral home. I was joking the other day, you know, like because I know a lot of funeral directors through the making of this movie. And, you know, the funeral directors are like dentists and lawyers. You know, nobody wants to talk to them, but when you need them, you better get a good one. And like Lakeside's a really good one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, Madeline Dundon, who is a great young actress, very talented, She reminds me, as I told you during the break, of a young Winona Ryder. I mean, she's got that talent. Appearing in a movie like this, where is that going to take her? Is that going to help lead her into bigger and better things?
Gosh, I'm sure it would. You know, Madeline is such a unique. There's no one like her, you know, because she could have come to Hollywood and just kind of taken advantage of that moment in time. But I've known the Dundon family. I actually directed her father in a play when he was 13 years old. So that she's playing Grace is God's will times a million. Like, it's what he wanted to happen. And Madeline decided to go to college. So we made Getting Grace, and she had a full scholarship to college. She went to college, and at the end of college, she'll either go to New York or Los Angeles. But she's not just a film actress. She could be a Broadway star. She's a dance major. She could be a dance, Broadway star. She's just, frankly, one of the most talented people I've ever met, the brat.
Wow. Well, yeah, she's just delightful, talent, and I see bright things for her based on what I've seen in this. She's, good future, and all the people did a great job. I mean, it was really, truly well acted, well written. I mean, this is a good production. I mean, you should be very proud of it. And we look forward to seeing it, on March 30th, again at St. Francis High School, and you'll be there to talk to people at 6 o'clock, and the movie will air at 7 o'clock. It will be screened. And so Madeline will be there too, and we love meeting people and taking photos and whatever anybody wants, we do. Well, that's great.
Not whatever. I mean, we won't walk your dog. I mean, Madeline might, but within reason. But come at 6 and have the experience and talk to the people from Roswell Park and Courage for Carly. I'm sure they'll be there to answer any questions as well as the staff of Lakeside. Well, we'll be there. I'll be there, and I encourage everybody who's watching now, spread the word. It's a great possibility for a good experience, a different thing to do on a Saturday night, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, you go to a movie and you're going to a movie, you're giving money for charity, you're meeting people who made it. It's going to definitely be a unique experience, I think, for Buffalo. And what I say is, please go to social media, use it, and there's a Getting Grace page on Facebook and a Daniel Roebuck page. They can find information on either of them. Well, I think we're out of time for now. Daniel Roebuck, thank you so much for being part of the show, and we look forward to seeing you when you come into town. Again, I'm going to recommend that everybody come and view the movie. We'll have to wrap it up now. We'll see you when you come into town. Thanks so much to everybody for watching The Big Picture this week. Thanks for watching WBBZ-TV, and we'll see you next time. All right, God bless Buffalo.